is there any other takeaways for studying your avatar to be able to make sure that you're providing good value and content for them?
Yeah, one of the best mistakes I ever made, I have an email list, and I went to like pick 10, and I thought I had set a filter to where I could say like, just send this to the last people that signed up in like the last 2 months, which would have been, less than 20. And instead I sent it to my entire list. And it said, hey, I need to pick your brain. I'm working on this new project, blah, blah, blah. We really love your opinion. Click here and schedule a Zoom meeting. This is free, blah, blah, blah. It went out to my entire list. So I spent 2 weeks talking to lots of people, 20 minutes at a time. And it was the best thing I ever did and it was weird because, people were like, what's this new thing? First of all, the idea that I was going to do, I never did because I didn't have a single person go, is that available now? Can I buy that now? Like nobody was super stoked about the idea. And I was like, all right, that's good to know. Going back to that recon. But then I would ask somebody, because in some cases, and this sounds kind of like a weird humble brag, but they'd kind of fanboy out because they're used to listening to me like, wow, that voice is coming out of your head. And I would ask them, I'm like, what do you like about my show? And they'd say something like, oh, it's always informative and you're funny and blah, blah, blah. And then I learned this trick. I'm like, great. What would you like me to either quit doing or something that's a pet peeve of yours that I do? And then I would shut up. And you end up with this weird, awkward silence that just like, and then he'd go, well, it's fine. And I would not say a word until at least 3 times they're like, really, I can't think of anything. And eventually they'd be like, well, sometimes you kind of do this or that. And so it was a great way to get honest feedback from somebody. Cause I'd even say, look, I brought an extra layer of skin. You're not going to hurt me today. I'm like, I'm doing the show for you and I can't make it better if you don't tell me how to fix it. So, and it wasn't as always, it's hard to do that and not get defensive. Like, oh, well, I did that because I'm like, okay, good. I'm writing that down. So that was something I did. And it was completely by accident, but that was just simply reaching out and saying, hey, can we get on Zoom for 20 minutes? I want to talk to you. And it was, again, it was kind of inspired by the pandemic, but that's what I do when I'm at events. I try to find my target audience, see what they're talking about. So that's another way to do it. And I think it's better to do it one-on-one, right? It would have taken a lot less time if I did a group call, but then you're going to have somebody go, well, I think this is such and such. And then you're going to have 15 people go, oh yeah, me too. And I would rather hear one at a time. So it's not a Me Too kind of situation where I can say, you know what, I've heard that 7 times now. I might want to quit doing that or things like that. So, And plus I know it sounds weird. That I know that I know that it's just me. But when you're on a one-on-one call with, oh my gosh, the host of my favorite podcast, it's kind of a big deal. And so I think that kind of freaked him out too. So it took a while, but man, I learned a lot from those phone calls or Zoom calls in this case.